I know I've said this in another video, but how do you know if this ain't frozen but freshly cut? If they don't fall off. As I've said in a previous video, crabs are cold in nature, not in temperature. In nature, as per the doctrines of traditional Chinese medicine. So it's got nothing to do with temperature. So you could eat a steaming hot crab right out of the steamer and it will still imbue you with coldness. For optimal health, your body should stay in a state of harmony. And you could do that by offsetting the coldness with hotness, such as consuming hot things like ginger and yellow wine. These two are almost ubiquitous on the table at meals revolving around the Chinese mitten crabs. For the colder months of the year, a popular hot ingredient is mutton. Now here in Suzhou, there are 长素羊肉 and 桃仁羊肉. These are two mutton cuisines of Suzhou. Maybe I'll do videos on them later. But today, we are going to compensate for the coldness from the crabs with a meal of mutton cuisine from Beijing, the instant boiled mutton hot pot, 涮羊肉. Such mutton can be boiled and cooked virtually at an instant because they've been cut to remarkable thinness. Meat slicer machines may be used on frozen chunks, but for these fresh mutton, you gotta do it hands-on. There's no way around this age-old and respected process. That's why the meat cutting specialist is one of the key positions at such restaurants. Many begin training at a young age and are instructed to avoid holding other knives or cleavers in order to maintain the finest touch of balance of the mutton cutting blade. That's because uniform thickness is vital to ensure each slice can be cooked to uniform doneness within a short time frame of mere seconds, as illustrated previously with this yangji ro, lamb loin. The loin came in a platter with this yangjianzi, which cooked pretty fast too. Yangjianzi is from the front leg, so it's the foreshank of the lamb. Now I know a lot of you are probably like, what? What's the bone? Yeah, I get it, because like 99.9% of the recipes out there ask for slow cooking the lamb shank, preferably with the bone attached. So you can get that collagen and connective tissue to melt into a flavorful and velvety sauce, as typified by braised lamb shank, or the nihari, which could use beef shanks. And speaking of beef shanks, that they demand slow cooking as well. So like the Filipino bulalo or the Italian ossobuco. These are all wonderful in their own fashion, and we Chinese do a lot of shank stews and soups as well, but also hot pot, which is tasty in different ways and much quicker. The speed at which the meat cooks hinges on thinness. Slicing mutton evenly is hard, but slicing evenly and thinly is even harder. I've heard that some top 涮羊肉 restaurants intentionally serve mutton on pattern plates to show off how the pieces are thin enough you can see through them and distinguish the pattern beneath. It would appear that this place isn't quite on that level, but these yang shana were thin enough to live up to the instant boiled requirement. So this is the yang shana. Shana literally means upper brain. I've explained this in the previous bout of mutton hot pot video. Shana literally means upper brain, but actually refers to the chuck stick in beef. So in mutton, that would be something like the lamb shoulder or lamb neck. There are many nuances and secrets to meat cutting in this trade. I'll leave those in the description section. Knife skills are important, but the sliced meat is only as good as the meat itself. The mutton here are obviously not frozen, haven't been enhanced with water injection, and been properly chilled fresh. That's why the plates remained dry without seepage and the slices could naturally stick to a vertical surface, as I demonstrated here also with the yang shangna. I know I've said this in another video, but how do you know if this ain't frozen but freshly cut? If they don't fall off. Don't get me wrong, the frozen meats were also fantastic, like this plate of yang houtuerou lamb hind shank. Nope, no leg bone either, and they cooked even faster than a foreshank. Just a quick dip in the pot sufficed. In this type of hot pot, the pot contains basically hot water. There are various dips and condiments, but the pleasure really comes down to meat quality. Mutton here is sourced from Silingo League. I've mentioned their mutton numerous times in my Inner Mongolia videos. Be sure to check them out in my channel. I was eager to try their skewered mutton too, but that's only served at night, so instead we went for their robi meat flatbread. They were like flattened water balloons. Look at all that juice gushing out. It's crazy how it could hold all that liquid. All this mutton plus the sesame sauce could get heavy. That's where the daikon comes in. One of the traditional veggies for涮羊肉because the sulfur compounds can rid the palate of greasiness. This 白菜半折头 Chinese cabbage with dried jellyfish was sour and produced the same desired effect. The different kinds of crunchiness of these two ingredients also added a new dimension of texture to this lunch. En route to the subway station after the meal, which was only about 5 minutes away, we stopped by Yiyuan, the Garden of Pleasance. It's not a part of the 9 classical gardens of Suzhou that constitute UNESCO cultural heritage, so it's one of those under-the-radar classical gardens. Maybe that's one reason why it's well liked by local seniors. Instead of a tourist destination, Yiyuan is more like an elderly hangout. I think many Chinese seniors yearn for accessibility to such gardens in their neighborhood, but these are chiefly found here in the Jiangnan area, particularly Suzhou. Approximately 60 gardens have been preserved in the city today. You guys will probably see more of them in the future. Actually, the next garden you'll see is going to be a representative of the Lingnan style because I'll soon post videos about my Guangdong trip from a few months back. 再见